We were just talking about the Wordle. The high point of my day.
Yeah.
Really look
Some
forward.
call it a crime for help, but go ahead.
I look forward to it. If you don't play Wordle, I got into it early on, and I've played every single day. I never miss. I just like it.
What a flex.
I've never missed a day.
Have you seen there's a new one? It's called Letterboxd. Have you seen that game?
No, what is that game?
Letterboxd it's a square, and there are, I think, 3 letters on each side of the square. And what you have to do is create words using the letters on the square, but you can't use letters from the same side back to back. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You have to go across the square.
Yeah.
And what you have to do is use up all of the letters within a limited number of words.
Oh, gosh. Okay. Well, I would try that.
I find it fascinating.
You do. And what's
Yes.
it called? What's it called?
I think it's called Letterboxd.
And is it a New York Times thing?
Yes.
Because Wordle was made by just a guy for his girlfriend, and the New York Times bought it.
Right.
And it changed a little bit. Now there's a little ad before it and everything. And I think Wordle did spike the interest in word games like that.
Yeah.
Because I've seen many say, because that became a real
It was
thing.
red hot when it first came.
Yeah, and I think, people played it for a little while, and as Chris Demm said, the popularity kind of waned, but I haven't missed a single day. I mean, that's, if you want to call it a flex, you call it whatever. You want to congratulate me, that's fine.
Strange hill to die on, whatever.
Okay, whatever.
Cry for help. Call it what it is.
Fine. I look forward to first thing I do. I haven't completed today's Wordle. Sometimes I get it quickly. Sometimes it takes me all day. Think about it for hours.
Do you fist pump when you get it?
Almost always, and I try to lord it over my wife when I get it in fewer guesses than she does.
You're still
Smart.
comparing.
Oh, yes, every day. It's a game where you try to guess a 5-letter word. You have 6 guesses, and oftentimes I will say Wordle in 3, and she'll go 4, and I'll be like, yes, okay. Sometimes she beats me, of course. You just never know. If she gets it in 2, I say, well, really, that's just a guess, isn't it? I mean, if you get
Good
it,
for you.
it's like not even really 2. If I get it in, let's say 3,
Well, even a broken clock, as the
one of
old
those.
saying goes.
It's one of those, right? Exactly. And she'll never tell me because I know her starting word. Oftentimes, I'll say, "How many did you get Wordle?" And she goes, "I'm not going to tell you until you've completed it." That's what she does. We never tell. Because if I get it, let's say in 2 or 3, she knows my starting word also. She'll know that some of those letters are in there.
Do either of you ever vary your starting word?
I never do. I don't think she does either. I'm not going to give my starting word. It's private. Why would I?
Much
No.
too private.
Exactly.
Way too vulgar.
In fact, unprintable in many countries.
Yeah.
Correct. That's right. I want to make sure that I'm not going to. Why would I give my starting word? Absolutely not. So the person, it's a woman who is an editor for the New York Times. She comes up with the Wordle every day, and she gave a strategy for it.
What is the most common mistake people make?
I think not putting in enough vowels in the first couple of guesses. Yeah,
Pick some words with the most vowels so you can see where you're going.
And just generally like STLR.
Yeah. I use all those. I know that strategy pretty well.
I know STLR.
It's in my.
Believe me, I've moved past STLR.
I felt like many won't remember this. If you play Wheel of Fortune, if you watch that game, they give you RSTLNE on the bonus puzzle.
Do we know when they started doing that?
I say 25 years ago. I mean,
I bet it's longer.
Maybe longer. 30 years ago. They used to not do that.
They used to just, you'd have to guess.
Yeah.
With nothing already given.
But people just weren't getting it, I guess. It was just too.
They were always guessed the same letters.
Everybody chose. You could get 5 letters, 5
RSTLNE.
That's what they did. Every time they'd say RSTLNE. So they just started giving those, and then you had to pick 3 or 4 more.
And people still don't get them. They just can't solve it.
They're pretty hard. It's 50-50. What percentage get the
final clue?
I'd say less than 50. Probably 35%. Something.
Well, now
like
they
that.
let you pick a category.
I know.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I know their game on that too. I'm so inside this. Okay, listen. Every night I watch Wheel of Fortune. It's like one of the high points of my day. All right, fine.
Strange flex. Go ahead.
Okay, so I watch Wheel of Fortune. Every night they let you pick the category. And they used to not do that. That just recently started. The winner, they say, okay, you're going to the bonus round. Solve one puzzle and you win. Usually it's $40,000. So they say, all right, here are your categories. Thing, verb, around the house. Everyone, almost everyone, will pick the one that's most specific. If it's thing, I feel like subconsciously you think, well, that's everything. If you pick around the house, it really narrows it down. So they'll pick around the house almost always. If you watch that, whatever is most specific, But then it's always hard. I mean, it's a tough game. It's a tough one to solve for sure.
Yeah. Because around the house could be anything.
Well, but thing is everything in the world. I mean, if it's thing, and they do that a lot, they'll be like,
But they do make it confounding, and some people I've seen people complain say, "No one says that as a saying
my
or
wife,
a popular
my wife
phrase."
says that. If it's phrase, my wife will, and then
no one's ever said that.
Exactly. And around the house,
dropping a squat,
right? And my wife almost always says, "You never hear that in popular." If it's around the house, it might be like frozen mug. Could be in your freezer, a frozen mug of root beer. And my wife would be like, nobody says frozen mug of root beer. It's not around the house in many houses. Point on the Wordle is she says use vowels and R and S. Yeah, I've been there. I know that. She still plays the game.
I actually still get to play every day because I plan 6 weeks ahead. So
You do?
I forget the words by the time they come around.
Oh, really? And then you play in the morning.
Do. And sometimes I've even not gotten the word.
Wow.
So she does the word.
How about that?
Plays 6 weeks later after she comes up with the words, and then still sometimes doesn't get them because she doesn't remember doing them. It's the high point of my day. That's what I look forward to most.
Actually, that's the most honest thing you've ever said.
That's the high point of, probably that's right. That's true. I look greatly forward to that, certainly.
I'm trying to think of what the high point of my day is. I don't know.
It's a tough one.
Starting your car, walking down the hall,
maybe it's
leaving.
Tough one.
Living here,
It's tough, yeah. Going to bed.
Taking that shirt off when you hit the apartment.
Going to bed is always nice,
Yeah, they're doing construction outside of my house right now too. Can't be as shirtless as I once, as I want to be.
Saw it.
You worried about the hard hats?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, well, you never know because you kind of, sometimes they're across the street, they could see in, and so I haven't been able to do that quite as much.
Don't let them paparazzi you. Don't let them get a photo of you.
No.
You're like, who's this beast? And put it out there.
Last known photo.
Don't.
Yeah.
You don't want that. That's the blurry out of focus.
No, you don't want that to be your last
Let me tell you.
photo.
We've had this issue before, and I'm worried about it again. These guys, they are slamming the street outside
I know.
my building, just tearing it up. And it
Again.
shakes
Yes.
again. And it shakes the entire building. And every time this happens, I picture myself nude, sliding down the rubble. If the building
when the
was to
building falls
collapse.
apart.
Yeah, because
As
it's
in an
so.
earthquake?
Yeah, I always worry that one side because it shakes the whole thing to the point where my dog is like hiding.
Yeah.
And I always picture like the side of the building collapsing, me surviving, but I slide down the rubble naked, and then my nude body's just out in the street.
Right.
Well, we've seen this too, unfortunately. Like sometimes when someone's in an accident or in a flood, it rips your clothing off.
You may have
That's what'll happen.
Yeah,
You'll
very
slide
possible.
down the rubble and it'll pull off your shirt and shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should listen. We've got this coming up on the grid after the top of the hour. You should hear what Mark Consuelos says about his own naked body. Okay.
I don't.
Mark Consuelos is one of the best looking men you'll ever see.
Ever.
He's made a confession about his own naked body.
Please.
We have that coming up for you.
Is he worried about sliding nude down rubble as well?
I don't think so.
I think he'd gladly do it.
He'd probably just do it. He'd probably just walk out there naked and be like, oh, man.
Oh, jeez.
Thought I heard a noise. Everybody okay? Yeah, we're fine. Consuelos, go back inside with your naked self.
Wouldn't it be great to have that kind of confidence?
I'm going to tell you another thing, too, that I've learned. I think we are always inches away from a mass construction accident because the amount of times I hear this outside my window, whoa, whoa, whoa!
Every job site.
3 to 4 times a day. Stop! 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 And I'm like, that's got to be like I'm 2 inches from the gas line.
The whole block will blow up.
Yeah, exactly. And I hear that 3 to 4 times a day right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Whoa, whoa! What are you doing, man?
A great point. What a fantastic point that we're always right on the edge of something.
That's when I picture myself
going down nude.
boom,
Riding the rubble
slide
down.
rubble down. Yeah.
Wait do you hear this Consuelos thing? I mean, I got it for you. But that's not yet. It's part of the good, the bad, the ugly today.
Under your goals section.
Man, I'd love to look like that guy. That guy isn't. If you don't know him, he's hosting live with his wife, Kelly Ripa. And Dave always says, Dave looks up at the TV and almost every day when it comes on and says, my God, that's a good looking man. I mean, he does.
He's the best looking guy on the set.
Great teeth.
Best looking human on the set.
Yeah.
Better looking than his wife. And she's beautiful. I mean, but he is like, he's model good look. Well, he's on a soap opera, or was, for years.
Yeah.
I mean, just chiseled.
But he's next level.
Yeah, I think he's had his teeth whitened, but he is definitely.
When we were off recently, I watched a little bit of their show, and it definitely doesn't have writers. We mentioned that they kept going during the writer's strike because they don't have writers. And the more I watch, the more I'm like, this really is. We're just watching a married couple at this point.
Just sit and chat.
We are just watching a married couple sit and chat with. It's almost like watching a morning breakfast, but they have celebrities stop by.
She's I heard she's not in it much longer. She's about ready to retire.
Ripa?
It's what she's in the next few years she feels like
It wouldn't
she'll
shock
step up.
me.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been doing it a while.
Yeah.
Drew Barrymore. This is about the writer's strike. If you recall this, about 2 weeks ago, before the writer's strike had ended, Drew Barrymore said, okay, it's time to get back to work. She wanted to put the other folks, not the writers, back to work. She's like, I'm going back on the show.
For the crew.
And the writers were very angry at that, ready to pick at her show. And then she didn't do it, So she was like, okay, I hear you. And she did not go back. Well, now the writer's strike's over. It ended just a few days later. It's over. She's going back on television. They're getting ready to shoot again. I think she's starting back up on Monday. Her 3 top writers quit because they hated her move so much. So three writers on the Drew Barrymore show said, well, I'm not coming back to work for him.
Who will take care of Drew's news?
Right. Drew's news. That's the big thing. Drew's news.
I can't believe there were that many writers on that show.
3 of them.
Yeah.
3 of them. That's right.
I was shocked.
I know. And she would do that. I was with you. I mean, it doesn't sound like there's that many writers.
No.
Here's something about nudity as well. It's been a lot about nudity. Kelly Clarkson stopped her show in Las Vegas mid-show.
Concert, not her talk show.
Not a talk show, her concert. Her boob was out. She had a breast that had fallen out of her gown.
Wait, hold on. Should I fix it? I think my boob's showing.
It was boob out, and she stopped it, put it back in, and restarted the song. And she said sometimes that happens. She had to
top, bottom, side, middle,
top, just flip down.
Just a little bit came out.
Nipple was out, was exposed. And she said, whoa, 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 and put it back in. I like her because she's real.
See, I was going to say that's what people love.
Kelly Clarkson.
Oh, boob's out.
Last week.
My boob comes out, people get mad.
They get mad at it.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa.
Hey.
Whoa. Easy, Chief. Easy.
Put that back.
Was it last week she was singing with that lady who was doing, I think, Tina Turner, and she sang with her.
This is a street performance.
On the streets, and people love that kind of thing. One more celebrity note today. Kevin Spacey has been rushed to the hospital. He had, it sounds like a heart attack.
His whole left side went numb.
His whole left side went. We had Biggie, one of your predecessors, way, but before Goat Boy, was sitting in there. His name was Chaz. Now, on this program, this is more than 20 years ago. Chaz was in the same seat you are right now, answering phones. And he came out of that room and he said, my whole left side is numb. And we all were like, what?
What?
My whole left side is numb. And we were like, should we do something? Of course, I wouldn't let him go anywhere.
You hadn't had first aid training.
Sit back in. No, I hadn't had first aid training.
Phone's ringing.
So what do Kevin Spacey and former producer Chaz have in common? Their whole left side.
Left side went numb.
Left side went numb. He described it.
We toured the Afro-Siab Museum, and I was looking at these extraordinary murals. I suddenly felt my entire left arm go numb for about 8 seconds. Now, everything turned out to be completely normal, and I am, of course, grateful that it's not anything more serious.
He was at a film festival in Uzbekistan when this happened, and so he said he was seeing some.
That's more surprising than the heart attack.
What are you doing here? My whole left side.
It's the only place I could get work.
That's it.
When I read the story, I was like, oh, man, I wonder where he was when he had. It was like, he was at a film festival in Uzbekistan, and I'm like, is he just taking like anywhere
it'll take.
Yeah,
that'll
I need
let him?
work.
He's been canceled, of course, and so now he's speaking, and he says, "Boy, it really puts life into perspective when your whole left side goes numb for 8 seconds." Happened to Chaz 25 years ago.
Yeah.
My whole left side is numb. What did I say? Get back in your seat. You answer the phone with your right hand. You know, that's how I hate it. That's what we do.